Good news, everyone. Mr. Page here with another deck tech. Today we're playing with Simic Nexus. This is a deck that I enjoyed quite a bit 2 formats ago. We've had 2 sets since I liked playing it. We've got the injection of Planeswalkers, which to me I didn't really like it last format. After the Planeswalkers, just because Baby Teferi is just so good against this deck. Not being able to play spells in our own end step is just devastating. But M20 gives us a really good tool in Veil of Summer, which is tucked away in our sideboard here, to fight against control decks and blue decks and just interrupt our opponent's counterspell plans. So I'm gonna give this a shot. We'll see if it is the real thing again in this format, or if we should be focusing our attention in other places, but it'll be fun to explore. So if you're not familiar with Nexus, the deck from 2 formats ago, we're basically just going to cast this multiple times and take all the turns. It shuffles itself back in our deck too, so it's a time walk, and we just never run out of time walks. To get the mana, we're going to use Wilderness Reclamation, which effectively is like our own personal mana flare. We can do our Nexuses in our end step, so you can tap your lands, let this untap them, tap them again, for fun and profit. And going along with that theme, we have Search for Azcanta. Once you flip an Azcanta, you also get to activate the Sunken Ruins and Impulse to find more Nexuses to just keep going off. And when I first played this deck, I was a little skeptical on how, just like, if you'd actually be able to pull it off, like if you would go infinite. But once you've played this deck for 4 or 5 games, you start to realize that, like, as soon as you start, you almost never fizzle. It's just ridiculously consistent. If you're digging 8 cards deep with this each turn, you're so likely to find a Nexus. And Tamiyo's been added to the format, and this is a great addition to the deck because not only do you just name Nexus of Fate most of the time and dig to try to find one, but you're also knocking 4 cards off your deck that aren't Nexuses, which lets you get to the critical, like, almost deterministic, like you can't not find another one eventually. And she can also, her second bonus is the -3. You can actually just pick up Root Snares. And this deck really shines in formats where Root Snare is good. When you can use this as another time walk, like, that's just super, super good for this deck. When you're facing a lot of Esper players, and even mono red sometimes, the Root Snares aren't as good as they are against the, like, more big dumb decks, like decks with the explore creatures or whatnot that are just attacking you. And this format to me feels like it's got a lot of those. You got people playing elementals and vampires, and I think Root Snare is in a good spot, but we'll find out. Now you actually have to win the game. You can't just take infinite turns. So there's a 1 of Callous Dismissal and 1 Nissa, and Nissa can go and win you the game pretty quickly once you're going off. Callous Dismissal's kind of painful to go off with this. You pick it up with Tamiyo, and then you Callous Dismissal your own Tamiyo, and then in your end step you do your Nexus of Fate stuff. And once you're going off, like, hard, you stack up 5, 6 multiple extra turns, so you can just waste a few turns just going Tamiyo, Callous Dismissal, or Tamiyo again. And then you start attacking with a 4/4, 5/5, whatever. There's also a Blink just to help us stabilize, along with the Root Snares. We've got Ops. Growth Spiral, also really important to the deck. Getting an extra land out, super strong. Single Narset just to dig. Chemister's Insight, instant speed card draw, really good. The land base here, whoever created this deck, only running 1 Memorial. I used to run a lot more. Like, Memorial was actually a pretty strong card, but that was before we had all the Planeswalkers to give us even more card advantage. So I'll trust this guy. Oh, and by the way, I got the list from MTG Goldfish. They've got a bunch of decks up from the SCG Open Worcester, and this guy came 10th place. So not an amazing result, but still pretty good. Didn't make top 8, but came close. And yeah, so we got 1 Memorial to Genius for card draw and 2 Blast Zones, which helps kill those pesky Teferis, among other things that'll keep you from going off. And do note too, like if you do get stuck behind a Teferi, Nissa letting your force tap for extra mana can be the key to actually going off in your own main phases, and you can still go infinite. The real key to going infinite is being able to get 4 mana to activate an Azcanta plus 7 mana for this in a turn. So if you can get up to 11 mana, you can go off even in your main phase. But of course we can also just bounce the Teferi and then go off. But still, we're really hoping to not face Teferis. That's our plan. So let's take a peek at the sideboard. We've got those Veil of Summers, which I mentioned. There's also a pair of Aether Gusts. Good against red-green. Buys you some time. We get some negates to fight back against counter spells. And in the mirror, if anyone else is crazy enough to play this deck. Some Harpooners. They help against mono red and other fast decks. You can just bring them in as a 3/2. Mu Yangling Skydancer. I assume we're bringing her in against control decks, just as another way to win the game. We have another Fog, pause for reflection, and 3 Shifting Ceratops, also really good against all the blue opponents running around. And because they're so good against our main plan, we can bring these guys in and just smash. All right, let's hop onto the ladder. See if we can pick up a win or two. All right, here we go. Let's see, 7 mana type cards. It's tempting to keep, just because the Wilderness Reclamation is so powerful. We might end up doing nothing here. But Reclamations are so key to the deck, I think it's worth keeping. And we do have a Blast Zone too to interact a little bit if things go completely sideways on us. This is going sideways. That means there's Teferis in our future. So this guy will kill a Teferi if that is what's in our fate. What our future holds. Surprise! It's Teferi.
I am not going to sit this one out. Here we go.
Good thing here, though, is he's tapped out, so we actually do get to resolve a Reclamation. We drew a search, but I'm pretty sure we do want a Reclamation. This also lets us get the 3rd counter on our Blast Zone. Damn you, Teferi. Like, shutting our whole deck off wasn't good enough. You also have to be able to bounce our stuff and draw cards. So our opponent held up 6 mana. We'll get one of our Reclamations countered. It'll keep him from putting tokens on the Druid. Well, yeah, if it was a Frilled Mystic, it would keep him from the Druid anyway. So this turn we can get our search out and blow up the
I've
Teferi.
done the hero thing before.
But we are under pressure all of a sudden. I think the fact that Teferi is so popular might mean it's just too risky to play this deck for me. I hate playing decks that have such horrible matchups.
I've got it.
I'm not too worried about him getting the ability to play sorceries. I'd rather do this in his end step to make sure he can't put another Teferi out from his hand. We've only got one card in the graveyard, so we're really far from flipping this guy. That's a big crisis. Now that he's tapped out, I can do that.
Really should have seen that coming.
Just to get some auto pass value. I think I'll go greedy and mill that. Are we dead? 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Ew, we're dead. Yep, so let's mill that. We need to find a Root Snare. We'll put a stop at our end step. You have to do that to actually be able to tap your lands before this thing resolves. Ooh, we found a Nexus. We might be going off. We can do the tapped land. And you need this stop here too to actually get priority at this point. A really easy way to lose with this deck is to forget to put this orange light back on. So we'll do that. Oh, I was clicking the orange light! I think I would have thrown away that anyways, but still, that's pretty annoying. So let's see, we got 7, that's going to double, so we've got 14 mana. Let's start with this. We drew another Wilderness Rec, but we don't have enough mana for it. So we'll float to crack this guy. We need a Root Snare. We found one. So we'll go to his upkeep and hope he doesn't have a counterspell. No such luck. So, bad matchup, but we did almost find our way back into there. Veil of Summer is going to help a lot. Ceratops will help us attack from a different angle. These seem good. These seem good. She doesn't seem good. They get too many mana creatures to attack her. I don't think we want another fog, although we probably aren't boarding out our fogs. Let's see. I'm going to trim the ops. Veil of Summer is pretty good direct replacement there. We don't need the Callous Dismissal anymore because we get Ceratops here. Blink doesn't seem... Well, it might let us go off, blinking into Teferi. Narset probably dies too easily. Maybe we don't want Negates. He's got Mystic Snake, or a Frilled Mystic, that Negate doesn't interact with. We can trim a Growth Spiral. I guess we'll trim a Root Snare. He's not that aggressive. We'll trim the Aether Gust too. Give this a shot. Alright, we got a little more action this time. We're still very expensive hand. We do have the Blast Zone again, and this time we do get a Scry land. Finds us a Growth Spiral. Very nice. Am I in full control? Why is it making me hit buttons here? That was weird. I don't fully understand what was happening there. I'm okay with doing this in his turn. If he wastes a counterspell on it, that's probably good for us.
I know my responsibility. Let's try this.
Facing off against Teferi again. Presumably he will bounce our Reclamation. That will put his loyalty low enough that Nissa might be able to get him. Her 3/3 land.
Might be a bad idea.
And if Nissa gets countered, we still got the Blast Zone taken up here. He's attacking our Wilderness Reclamation. But it's another 3-drop, so we're on Blast Zone plan now. So we could get Nissa, animate a land, but we can't attack. But then we do have a Nissa out. It's okay if she takes one hit. Or we could just go with the Blast Zone plan, tick it up. I think I like resolving the Nissa while we can. While he's tapped out. I think that's what's breaking this tie. We can do the Blast Zone plan while our opponent has left mana up.
The land fights for us.
I didn't want to untap the forest this time so I can save it.
I am not making this up as I go.
Because you can only animate each land once and it untaps it, so we can actually get more mana out of it if we wait until we actually need the mana. Also, if he taps out again, we might be able to just go off. He did not tap out. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 mana. Unfortunately, we can't defend ourselves with the Veil of Summer while Teferi's hanging out. I think we might Blast Zone now. Our opponent did leave mana up as well. Wait, if I animate the Blast Zone, we can pop it right away? If I didn't fuck that up. I needed that land untapped. Fuck. I didn't think the turn through all the way. Because we could have used these to Blast Zone, untap the Blast Zone, and then use those to actually pop it. Oh well. I could have tried a Nexus there too, but it seems too likely to get countered. I want to get this Blast Zone plan going.
Don't worry, I got this.
Ooh, another way to deal with Teferi. But... Okay, so what do we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 mana. 11, 12. We need 4 to pop the Blast Zone. So we'll have 8 left. Which is Reclamation, which will give us a shitload more mana. So we can do it all here.
That's how it was meant to happen.
Rise, my elemental friend.
Stop in. Opponent's got tons of mana up too, so one Veil might not be enough to get this through. That's unfortunate. Guess I could have attacked there. I don't really want to trade lands off for Frilled Mystic, though. Maybe it would have been better to just do a Nexus of Fate at the end of his turn, rather than go for the Reclamation. Do I care about ever ultimating her? I only have like a handful of force, maybe 4. So she could just take this hit. That's fine.
I will endure.
We could bounce the Krasis and hit him for 12. And then we have a Nexus, so I think we actually win this way. So what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we can Tamiyo.
I am Tamiyo. It is an honor
We
to
can untap this, gives us our 7 mana.
The land shall conquer you.
We can pick up the Reclamation for fun.
I follow the tracks of the wise.
There. Take that to fairy deck. That felt really awkward. I think I played the blast zone turns wrong on both fronts. I could have blast zoned a turn earlier, and then I think I should have blast zoned at the end of his turn, not in my own turn. But even with those stumbles, we still managed to fight through the Teferi and get the win. Do I want to cut anything? He's attacking our enchantments pretty hard. I wonder if it's right to just board out all of the reclamations and some of the nexuses. I don't think that could possibly be right. It might be right to cut the root snares against this guy. Let's cut the snares and go Aether Gust, Growth Spiral, and Narset. And now we will die horribly to a rush draw from him. Can't keep that. Whew. Put one of them back on the bottom. Sorry if the recording's stuttering a little bit here. I am planning to get a new computer with the new Ryzen parts that just came out. The Ryzen 3000 series, but I seem to, my current computer is about 5, 6, actually maybe even 7 years old. It seems to be able to do Magic Arena okay, but I've tried to record Satisfactory in particular, and my computer absolutely could not handle that. So normally I like Aether Gusting the mana creatures, but he's already got 2 of them out, so I think we'll just do our own Growth Spiral. We will Aether Gust this guy, though, I believe. Take our time walk. I think the search gives us the best odds of actually hitting the 4th land. If we Growth Spiraled, we would have seen this card, and then we draw the card under it. And I guess we get the exact same thing here. The search will allow us to mill this card, and then we'll draw the card under it. But we still have the Growth Spiral in our hand, in case we do it.
I will aid you.
Be wary of the ground you walk on.
And look, we're Root Snares might not actually be bad. We drew a tap land. Can I mill a tap land? Let's do it. I feel lucky. Nice. Step 2 of feeling lucky is he doesn't have a negate. Decent. Okay, and he didn't kill this enchantment, so hopefully that means he can't kill the Reclamation. We might be able to go off. Still pretty far from flipping our Azcanta, though. Which is another good reason to mill that temple, just to build the graveyard up.
Harness the elements.
I really wish I had a Root Snare at this point. So you could send this too, and then tap these lands to do the adapt. They'll still be attackers. He's counting his mana out perfectly. Which might mean we can get a read on him. I'd say he wants to play both of these cards. Or it's just an X. Okay, well I guess we have to win this turn. X equals 10. I boarded out all the Root Snares, so we have to like legit win. He didn't play a blue card, so that won't trigger. Our sideboarding's killing us. I'm gonna throw it in the graveyard just to potentially flip the search a little earlier. We've got a lot of mana. He's got a lot of creatures. Yeah, my computer's lagging for sure here. Blast Zone. Can't kill all the zeros, unfortunately. I do just want the land, though, I think. How many cards are in the graveyard? 5. I guess I don't want the land. I want more Nexuses. That's not a Nexus. Turn that stuff on. And I think that means we're done. Because we took out all of our Root Snares. A little too slow, Mr. Nexus. That was close, but man, Teferi's just so good against us. Not that there was a Teferi this game. It's just, 10 angels, 10 soldiers. Also good. We got a minus 32. So I guess my summary of this deck would be there might be a way to beat Teferi. I wouldn't be surprised if this guy at the Star City tournament had a good plan against them, but it just feels too weak. And on top of that one vulnerability, on top of the vulnerability of just Teferi in particular, I think that this deck's just like such a horrible experience to play. When our opponent conceded game 2 for us, but some people make you play it out, and you just have to go really deep and play a 20-30 minute game. So I don't think I'll be revisiting Nexus, at least not for regular MTG arena use. Like if they put out a big tournament, or I was trying to grind up into like the top 10 on the ladder or something like that, it might be worth it. But I don't even know if the win rate's there. So, but at least we had a look at the deck. We've got a little bit of more experience with it. You guys got to see it a bit, but I'm almost certainly going to retire it from my arsenal at least. Well, my name's Mr. Page. I hope you guys enjoyed this strategy page on Simic Nexus. See you guys next time.